Dropped their first road game of the season and have their 5-game winning streak snapped. They did not lead whatsoever in this basketball game. 8 different players on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Burn the tape!
And this is what you call a burn the tape game. That's right. Just burn it and move on and get ready for Oklahoma City.
Is that a VCR?
Kids, that's a VCR. You put it in like a VCR, and we'll explain that a little later. I don't think kids going to understand what that is. But anyway, welcome to Toyota Warriors Post-Game Live. The Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champion Festus Ezeli, I am Vontae Hill. And this started early and often. A 20-2 start by the Cleveland Cavaliers. They go crazy from the three-point line, 14-22 in the first half alone, and they won this game wire to wire.
Whew, Bonte, that was a good old tail whipping by the Cleveland Cavaliers on the Warriors. Everything from the jump of the game, just moving the ball, hitting shots. The Warriors couldn't score to start the first half. They were shooting 63% from the three-point line in the first half. It's insane what they were doing. Donovan Mitchell, Darius, Garland, they were special. They got the bench going, and everybody else followed.
First 4 minutes and 27 seconds, Bully. Cleveland's up 20-2. In the first quarter alone, they hit 7 threes, go 7 of 10, and we discussed their three-point shooting before the game. They were making 15 a game, averaging 36 attempts. Well, tonight, they go 20 of 41, including 14 of 22 in the first half. They were up 41 points at the break. This team could shoot. They could defend. That was impressive.
Yeah, I think, Bonta, you said it. This is an underrated team in the Eastern Conference. And obviously, they're the top of the Eastern Conference. But I think the Celtics, Philadelphia, any other team you want to put in, I think Cleveland's got everyone matched, not only with their roster. I like the style of play, the balanced attack. Again, they got hot in the first half. They didn't cool off much.
No.
Those efficiency numbers off the charts. I mean, to get down 41 in 24 minutes, and you got to be super hot, like Cleveland was. The Warriors turned, they had 13 turnovers, I think, in the first half. They did much better in the second half, taking care of the basketball. The bench got some good minutes in. It was more of a workout, but you got to give the bench. They scored 77 points, the Warriors bench, so they got some good minutes in. Maybe that can carry over a little bit. But in general, burn the tape, move on to OKC.
Well, let's discuss this three-point shooting of the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were shooting 42% from the perimeter on the season. Darius Garland was shooting 47% coming into this game. Donovan Mitchell was nearly at 40%, and 8 different Cavaliers hit a 3 in this game. Darius Garland was 6 of 11. Mitchell really didn't have the three-point shot going on, but Isaac Okoro goes 4 of 6. That's foul money for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they just kept shooting and shooting and shooting, and ended up 20 of 42, not 20 of 41, 20 of 42 from the three-point line, as he fell.
Well, Bonte, you know there's a familiar face on the sideline for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's head coach Kenny Atkinson. That same the principles for the Warriors, ball movement, man movement. They just did such a great job of cutting, getting to the basket. Everybody was moving. 5 guys, like we say for the Warriors all the time, 5 guys are active, and all those 5 guys are threats on the offensive end. We were talking about Isaac Okoro. This is a guy, he's a non-shooter, a guy that you're supposed to let shoot the ball in a defensive scheme. But even he tonight, 4 for 6 on the three-point line. They just got great quality looks the whole game.
Tonight, it seemed the Warriors were a step slow. I think we talked in great detail about how the improvement defensively, one-on-one, containing blow-bys. I thought tonight the Cleveland Cavaliers guards were getting by the Warriors perimeter players, creating havoc either for themselves. They were getting dunks. They were getting wide-open threes, obviously, in the first half. They made 14 threes in the first half. So I thought Cleveland did a much better job dictating tempo, the style of play that they wanted to play, and the Warriors played catch-up the rest of the night.
And defensively, they wouldn't let the Warriors breathe on the offensive end. The Warriors were really struggling to start. Again, they were down 20-2 before we blinked. They had 39 points to Cleveland Cavaliers in the first quarter, but their defense limited the Warriors from open looks. They really suffocated Stephen Curry and company. And the Warriors in that first quarter, which really felt like the game, they were 2 of 9 for the three-point line, 22%, 9 of 22 overall in that first half. And really the numbers with a great second half, it's a little inflated here because the Cleveland Cavaliers, their airspace. Look at the defense here, Fezzi. They were trapping, they were long, and their size really bothered the Warriors in the half court.
Okay, Bonte, think about it this way. The head coach, Kenny Atkinson, came from the Warriors, and he had all the answers to the test. Gave them all the answers. All they had to do was come out there and execute the game plan, and they did it to perfection. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they have all these incredible athletes. Very long, very active. They're young, they're fast, and they dictated tempo the whole game. You can see it from the jump. The Warriors couldn't get any shots off, and every time they wanted to go somewhere, it just seems like the Cleveland Cavaliers were already there waiting for them to go get a shot.
Yeah, get back to the quickness factor. Defense, we noticed it in blow-bys. Offensively, those were clean layups against the Celtics. Andrew Wiggins getting by his man, getting to the basket. Cleveland Cavaliers did a much better job on second efforts and multiple efforts defensively. I just think overall, for whatever reason, they look like a step slow, both offensively and defensively. Every shot they took was contested. They couldn't get by Cleveland. Give the bench credit for the second half comeback. They cut it to 20, whatever, and they got some good minutes in. But overall, it was one of those games where they just looked lethargic.
Yeah, their athleticism and the length, they took it to the Golden State Warriors, and they were fired up for this game as they become the first team since the 2015-16 Warriors to start the season at 10-0, and they look great right now as we look at the top of the Eastern Conference standings here. And the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to have something to say. We forget they lost in the second round to the Boston Celtics last season, a very competitive series, and all they do is switch the head coach. They don't even have Max Strus yet. Niang gave them good minutes. Ty Jerome gave these guys good minutes off the bench. And so their depth is really good. Their starting five is in sync as they play their second and third seasons together here. They're going to have something to say out there in the Eastern Conference, Fezzi.
I mean, the thing about this team is they have the size. They have the athleticism. They got great shooters. They got ball movers in Darius, Garland, and Donovan Mitchell. And then when you talk about the bench, Ty Jerome is another face that we know from last year. They didn't want you, Ty Jerome. And he came out there and was really shooting the ball, made great plays. Karis LeVert is a guy who was quiet tonight. But this is a team that's very stacked from top to bottom.
I thought Steve Kerr's pregame comments were very appropriate. Kenny Atkinson walked in a similar situation Steve did 10 years ago. A very good team that needed a new voice in that locker room. And when you make that coaching change, I think it puts a lot of responsibility on the players to come back more committed. I mean, no one feels good about having their coach fired. You feel responsibility for that. Kenny Atkinson, a championship coach with the Warriors, so perfect timing for him, and he's obviously getting the best out of each player individually.
And he's probably happy he's not in Charlotte.
The Cleveland Cavaliers put on an impressive performance, securing a franchise-best 10-0 start, while the Golden State Warriors saw their 5-game winning streak come to an end. The Warriors were never in control of the game, failing to take the lead at any point. Cleveland's sharp shooting from beyond the arc played a major role in their commanding win. The Cavaliers hit 14 of 22 three-pointers in the first half alone, ultimately finishing the game with 20 of 42, outplaying the Warriors in nearly every aspect. The Cavaliers' dominant 22-2 start put them in the driver's seat right away. Led by stellar performances from Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, they displayed exceptional ball movement, shooting, and defense. The Warriors struggled offensively, shooting just 22% from three-point range in the first half. They couldn't seem to get their offense going as Cleveland suffocated them defensively. What made Cleveland's performance even more remarkable was their ability to capitalize on Golden State's turnovers. The Warriors had 13 turnovers in the first half, which Cleveland turned into scoring opportunities. Despite the Warriors' bench providing some valuable minutes in the second half, it was clear that Cleveland dictated the tempo throughout the game. It's clear that Cleveland is no longer the underdog in the Eastern Conference. They are a serious contender, boasting depth, athleticism, and efficient shooting. The Warriors, on the other hand, will need to regroup after this loss and work on improving their defensive efforts and limiting turnovers if they want to compete with teams like the Cavaliers. In conclusion, the Cleveland Cavaliers' dominant win over the Warriors is a reminder of how important early season momentum is. As the Warriors look ahead, they'll need to sharpen their defense and execute better if they hope to maintain their position as title contenders. What do you think? Do you believe the Cavaliers are a true Eastern Conference powerhouse this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on all things NBA. Thanks for watching.